So it should be, wherever we go, right? Whether it's client meetings, we go to conferences, and of course, within our internal product discussions as well, we often talk about automation, right? And that is something which is, of course, in the industry being seen as the main growth lever.
So, Arti, would you like to share with our listeners how do you see automation in action? Especially, you have a beautiful background in financial services. So, how would you see automation in action in financial services?
I would say, recently I just was sharing with a particular client about the experience that Starbucks gives, right?
Yeah.
So how do you actually change the experience for a particular customer, right? I was recently talking to one of the clients about Starbucks as an example, wherein you can actually use Alexa to actually place your order, walk into the store, your order is already ready. Because your payment is already configured as a part of your loyalty. There's an auto checkout, you just pick your glass and move out. I mean, this kind of a seamless payment experience that one would go through and it is of course automation at the back end wherein you're tracking your customer and it moves out seamlessly.
So you remember the time we went to San Francisco and Amazon Go To Store, where you can just pick up the stuff and walk out without
Absolutely.
Actually having any human intervention or interaction, because everything is done by technology. So I think that's where we as a world we are headed.
Yeah.
Less human interaction, which is great from the efficiency perspective, but which also disconnects you from humans, you
Right.
know, because as a social person, you do need some kind of interaction with the community.
But I also think that automation
Yes.
enables, actually all the mundane tasks that typically a lot of teams are spending their time on.
Yeah.
That can be eliminated, and the team can actually focus on real customer touch points, building a
Connects.
personal connect,
Yes.
and more person. When you say personalized journey, it's not only just about what is really happening online, but has to build more personal connects through personal interactions.
But automation isn't a silver bullet. What mistakes do you think brands make while adopting automation in today's time?
I think automation shouldn't be done just for the sake of automation. It's also about understanding the entire customer journey and identifying which are the points where there should be more personal human touch and human connect. And that's, I think, how automation should truly be leveraged.
So the brands that win are those that make automation invisible. It is effortless, it is present, and it is empowering both the teams as well as the customers by driving growth, because it is again working in the background, and that's where we started this whole conversation. Automation can become a complete brand differentiator if adopted and implemented correctly.
And I think if automation is not driving conversations, retention and trust, it's just tech for the sake of actually implementing
Absolutely.
tech. And the future of growth is with heart and efficiency.
So I think everywhere it is the same. Like I think every event or every place panel where things are getting discussed, the eyes should be always on the end point.
Yeah.
Technology is just a means to an end. It is not the be all end all. Today it is whatever we are talking about in terms of automation, but tomorrow it could be something else. At the end of the journey, it is all about bringing that heart and soul to the brand. And automation is just another way to kind of implement things where you do more with less.
So let me throw a question at you, right? What's the most surprising win that you've seen from automations?
We are working with many brands. I cannot name the brand and I will not name the brand, but we have been working with certain brands which are actually using automation to do so much with just a limited team of their agents. I'm taking an example of time where there are unprecedented number of volume of mentions because of let's say a campaign or a special product launch that they did. Got hundreds and thousands of mentions within 24 hours, and automation became the key to kind of address everything in time and keep that machinery moving with a very small team. So we have seen this in action, and this is just the simplest use case which we are talking about, because we talked so much about the retail and shopping carts and recommendations and the entire cycle of buying for a customer. And from that aspect, I think the flavors of automation in each of these steps can be so much more than what I just discussed. So I'm very excited about where this is all going to lead
Right.
and how things are moving. So future is already here. So and we are very, very ready to take on.
No, absolutely. Considering that the future is already here, and we of course encourage most customers to embrace it wholeheartedly, and that's what we talk in most of our conversations. So the next question to you would be that what would you really recommend for the customers who are embarking on this journey?
Eye on the prize. It is about customer retention, customer loyalty, and customer happiness. Automation or technology is just the means to that end, and not the end. So you can do hundreds of other things, but this is one of the things which will help you become more efficient, become more approachable, and become more available to your customers. And that's where, again, eye on the prize.
I think it's also about understanding how automation can be a growth lever, right? Rather than just, because a lot of times when you automate, it also leads to, because it's also a change management issue,
Absolutely.
right? So it leads to a lot of frustration within the organization and the people who are using it. So how do you think that one can just focus on keeping it as a growth lever rather than, and also handle the change management?
Interesting question, difficult answer. But I'll try to sum it up in 2 words: empathy and transparency. Empathy in your conversations. How would you actually, as a human, deal with the situation, create instances and teach your automation to work like that? And efficiency and transparency, so that everything that, like we discussed, that if you know that there is something which is wrong, go proactively and talk about it. It is always better to preempt situations than rather. When we were younger, actually, we used to learn this in school. Prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So preventing those kind of situations by proactively reaching out to the customers and telling them about potential delays, potential delivery delays, is much better than in retrospective going ahead and kind of informing them about things.
I just want to add a particular point over here that, when we talk about this change management, I think it is both internal as well as external.
Yes.
A lot of times we are focusing on actually creating this automation for the customers and the value that they will get out of it. The customer adopts because, of course, he loves it. He's getting all the attention that he wants. But internally within the organization, I think creating awareness of what impact non-adoption can have from a business standpoint, right? And creating incremental changes within the organization for all the automation that is actually happening. I think a mix of both in the culture change management would be probably one of the most,
so it's
onset for a
it's
success.
kind of like the weight loss journey.
Yeah.
When you're losing weight, you're not going to lose 5 kgs in one day.
Right.
You will only lose like 200 grams every single day.
Absolutely.
But it's the delta you need to chase. And if there is no delta, and then you know that the plan is not working. And
Precisely.
it's exactly the same way. Automation is also not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
So making those incremental changes and tracking those incremental changes it's a journey which is going to happen with any brand, where internal and external mindsets have to be aligned, and then everybody works together to achieve that common goal.